What is good, my people? Welcome back to Computer Music Academy's weekly homework podcast. I am your host, Tashira Say. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Welcome back to the weekly homework podcast. Welcome back to the studio and welcome back to more great music from the CMA members. How the hell are you? It has been a good 3 months since if you don't include the Dilla homework, it's been a minute since we've actually done this, and I'm glad to see you. Hopefully you're glad to see us. We are back, and we are here with week number 40 of the weekly homework podcast. Man, this is a good week. So, technically, this is week number 2 of season or year 2, 2014. Now, if you've been following the podcast, and a lot of you have been, shout out to that, have been following from the beginning, week number 2 last year in 2013, we did something that turned out to be, in my opinion, pretty legendary, and a lot of people still talk about it. We actually took one song. It was our very first sample mutilation. We took one song, gave it to everybody, and everybody just ripped it. Ripped it to shreds. And that song was Bob James' Nautilus. Everybody did their own interpretation. You know, it was just taking the sample itself. You couldn't use any other instruments or any other songs or samples or anything like that. And everybody just came back with some really incredible submissions. So I thought about doing something similar this year, but I couldn't decide on one song. So what I decided to do is like, you know what? We're pretty good at dedications. Like when we get involved, we get involved. So I decided to make this a Bob James dedication week because this dude is a phenomenal musician. I mean, if you look through his catalog and you see how much stuff he's released over the years, and I believe he's like 76, I could be wrong, but he's up there. But he's released a ridiculous amount of music over the years. And then for us people who are in hip hop, who have sampled his music, all you have to do is pick up one album of Bob James and you will see 2 to 3 samples off of that one album. And that's multiple albums. So what we're doing this week is a Bob James dedication. Pick a song and or 2 or however many you want. And instead of just using just that song, I gave them the ability to use other instruments and some other samples and blah, 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 and build around the track. We have 11 submissions this week, and man, I am ready to kick things off. First and foremost, one of our newcomers who has finally turned into submission, my man, Nelson Manziella. Let's get it in.
Is pimping easy? Hell yeah.
Is that I like very different kinds of music. It's not hip hop really, it's not jazz, it's a lot of different things. Electronic music.
You have to have a good instinct. Sometimes that frightening stuff will be great and people would love it, but it has to be the right audience.
Say what?
Say what you want to say.
Nelson Manziella doing his thing, kicking off week number 40. That was really dope. You know what? One thing, Nelson has actually been on the site since late November, if I remember correctly, and he never got in any of the later, the later homeworks last year. But what he did is he started going through a lot of the older homework assignments from last year, because that's available. If you're a member of CMA, all of the whole archive of the assignments from what we did last year is available. You can always go in just to get some practice and do something that we've done before. And he did 6, maybe 7 of those over the last few months, and he did pretty good. And each time he has progressed. So now here he is finally turning in, you know, I should say a newer submission as we're doing the homework. And that was pretty cool. I got to give it up. One thing I really like about him is he reminds me of CMJ, Cricket Mystery Jazz, in so many ways, because everybody's going here. Nelson is going to go over here with it. And he does really good work. So he's still learning, and he's definitely establishing his style. So shout out to him for that. And now to a gentleman who has only been with us not even 2 weeks at this point, my man, Willie Chill. If I'm not mistaken, he's from down in Georgia. I could be totally wrong. But my man, Willie Chill, doing his thing for week number 40. Let's check it out. All right, Willie Chill, just getting started making beats as far as I know. Definitely just getting started with Ableton. And he was very, very nervous. Like, as far as I know, he went back a couple of different times and recreated this beat because, you know, he's new to this, but he definitely wanted to jump in the homework assignment. And we actually had several conversations over email where he was like, man, I'm not going to do it. I'm done. I can't do it. And I was like, dude, if you're going to bow out now for insert reason here, if you're going to bow out now for that, then you're never going to jump in the homework assignment. You're never going to get a track finished, blah, blah, blah. You know, at some point you have to jump in the pool and you might sink to the bottom the very first time, but eventually, because you're in the pool, you will eventually learn how to swim. It's that simple. Or, you know, you just suffocate and die. But that's not the case here. And the track is very short. It's very minimal, but watch him over the next few weeks, especially as the Ableton producer stuff comes out. And I'm going to be working with him personally, trying to help him get his style and get his thing going. Trust me, dude is going to do good things. Trust that. Plus, he's surrounded by a bunch of great people at CMA. I'm pretty sure that you can agree with that. So shout out to Willie Chill. We're going to get it in, bro. All right, moving on to a gentleman that just came in over the last couple of months himself. He jumped in the submissions for last week and did his thing. As far as I know, that was his very first beat. And now he's back with his second submission for week number 40. My man, Elliot, let's get it in. Yes. Elliot representing Quebec, Canada, or Quebec. Oh boy. I'm very excited to see what this dude is going to do because like Nelson, he has, you see the potential in the beginning and he's just beginning to grow and grow and grow. We were talking over email earlier in the week and he was saying that he's one of the people, and I know several people like this and I have no issue with it, but he's one of those people that kind of has an issue sampling somebody's work as, somebody as great as Bob James. And he said he had a slight issue doing it, but as I said, he took the main sample with a sample and he built his track around it. So he only used a little bit. And what he actually did around the track, I thought worked pretty well. I really did. My only thing, and it's not even a nitpick or anything, I just want to see some harder drums, whether that's EQing and compression, boosting, that kind of thing, or just the drum selection. The drum he selected were actually pretty cool, but I just want to see something that hits just a little bit harder and maybe kick the tip on up just a little bit, even though that was really cool. That was a really dope head nod joint. So excellent job, Elliot. Glad you're here, man. All right, moving on to my man representing Detroit, Third Degree. 2 weeks in a row. Let's get it in. Representing Detroit 313, my man P, Third Degree. Whoo, that was nice. Shout out to Third, because if you followed us last year, P got in a few submissions, but they were really spaced out. Like you wouldn't hear from dude like months at a time in some cases. But he did manage to get on the intro soundtrack as well. Go download that at the site if you haven't already. That was really, really dope. But anyhow, it's good because we talked earlier in the week and he said that he was definitely going to try, along with 18th Dynasty, said that they were definitely going to try to submit more this year and be more a part of the community, being more active. And so far, so great, dude. That track was really dope. I liked the elements that you use from that particular song. I like the track. I like the drums and the sequence and everything. I especially like the second half when he just changed the sample up and the instruments you were using completely, just turned it into almost a totally different track. My only complaint, and it's not even a complaint, my only nitpick or suggestion is it needed to be mixed a little bit better. Number one, everything needed to be evened out just a little bit more. And number two, drums definitely got to come up. They got to be a little heavier. They got to hit a little harder. Maybe select a couple of different types of drums or stack them. But dude, that track, yes. We will work and we will get that popping, dude. Excellent job. All right. Representing Sacramento, my man, Ray D 3000, back for the 2014. Let's get it in. Yes. Ray D 3000 doing his thing for week number 40. Really dope track. Couple of suggestions. Definitely need to step the EQing and the mixing up a little bit. That track needs to come out a little bit more. It really needs to hit a little bit harder. And number two, what's going to make that hit a little bit harder? Drum selection. Definitely got to select some better drums and EQ them correctly and make sure they're level, correctly in the mix. Because you, along with Third Degree, definitely in this particular submission, I hear the machine drums. I know it's the machine factory drums. Right offhand, I couldn't tell you what kit, but I know it's the machine factory drums that they've had since 2009. And nothing wrong with that, but you definitely want to, if you're going to use them, stack them. Seriously, them joints need to have an impact. Like when I'm riding in my car and I got the podcast playing, I want to feel that joint. Buddy Withers, B Withers will agree with that. I want to feel that joint, man. So yeah, but overall, really dope track. Definitely needed at least one more change up in the beat. I would definitely suggest that. But I like what you did. It's definitely a great premise, man. It's good to have you back on the podcast. So shout out to you. All right, moving right along to my man representing New Jersey. First 18th Dynasty. Let's get it in.
Oh man, I love this song. Oh man, I love this song.
Dynasty doing this thing for week number 40 of the Weekly Homework Podcast. Very nice track. Definitely same thing with the last couple of people. Definitely an issue, not an issue. Definitely suggest mixing this a little bit better because it needs to be evened out a little bit more because I'm hearing the drums. And that's the thing that I hear in his that I didn't hear in the last couple of submissions is that his drums were actually stacked, but seemed like they weren't EQ'd correctly because there was like very little, if no, like low end bump at all. And I'm not talking about like 808 sub bass. I'm just talking about that boom, that actual foot and that hit from the kick drum and kind of the lower frequencies, the mid to lower frequencies on the snare drums. You know, I know they were stacked, but definitely you want to have that. You want your drums to have an impact and they kind of carry the beat, so to speak. You know, flat out, like I said before, riding in the car or you're working out, you got your headphones on and you're listening to the podcast or beats or whatever, you definitely want something that's going to push you towards whatever you're doing. Great submission. Definitely needs a little bit of work, but I know you're working. I know you're doing your thing, and he said he's definitely going to be here more often this year. And before I forget, I forgot at the top of this show, he actually submitted this week's intro. So great job, and use that as an example because you did a great job in that particular instance of mixing. Kind of go where you went there and with your other submissions like in week 39 and so on, and try to, you know, figure out your mixing. That's definitely the biggest issue. And I definitely liked both patterns too. That was really cool. So yeah, very good job. All right, moving on to the man himself, the king of the Weekly Homework Podcast. He's back. Our man, Stephen G. Let's get it in. Potsdam, Germany. Represent. Holy crap. Steven Genius, ladies and gentlemen. Whoo. Dude is a beast. For those of us who are of age and used to watch TV, because I definitely don't watch TV now, for those of us that fit in that category, you should recognize the track that he used, which is actually Angela, the theme from Taxi, one of my favorite Bob James tunes of all time. And man, whew. All right, I'm done. I don't need to say anything else. Moving on, keeping it close by, moving to the West, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to the UK with my man, Mr. Legacy, who has been doing his thing, by the way. Let's get it in. Man. That was nuts. It's the Legacy. Legacy Fingers. Oh boy. That was pretty incredible. I forget the name of that track. I know the sample, but off top, I'm forgetting it. But man, he did his thing with that, especially once it got around the 1 minute mark. That's all I got to say. Moving right along to our man who has been coming with it since he initially came to CMA, which was right before the grand finale last year. Got in the grand finale. And he has been a really cool part of the community. He has been growing. He has been learning. He has been very active as far as pretty much everything that we do. And it's good to have him in the regular podcast now as he continues to grow and learn and be a part of the whole community, because we all love him. Trust me, we do. My man representing Tampa, Florida, Gold 007. Let's get it in. Gold 007 doing his thing for week number 40. Weekly Homework Podcast. Very, very nice track. I liked it a lot. Couple issues, small issues. It was a bit busy, at least for my taste. It was a bit busy. It was a lot of stuff just kind of hitting you at once. I know some people wouldn't have an issue with that, and that's fine. I'm just saying, for me, speaking from my perspective as a fan, as a listener, definitely a little bit busy for me. The other thing that I had an issue with is, let me go here. Gold is, once again, he's a slightly older gentleman than everyone else in the community. And I love the fact that he's like, screw this, I'm going to do what you guys do. So shout out for that. Number two, he's an Ableton user that recently bought Machine like less than a month ago. And we've been getting together and I've been trying to help him out as far as getting into Machine. I know he used Machine for this particular track as far as like drums and sampling and stuff like that. And he runs everything through Ableton. So I know he's still trying to get through or learn his way around. Damn, how many times am I going to say this? He's still trying to learn his way around Machine. So that may be an issue for it. But what I was going to say is the beat is kind of, it's the pattern itself is kind of off. Like I'm listening to it, and I think what happened is he sampled the drums in the track, which, if I'm not mistaken, was Heads by Bob James, or at least off of that album. And I think he sampled the drums and then he added drums on top of it, and it was kind of off, loose, you know what I'm saying, to where it was hitting, but it was a drum that was stacked on top of it that was slightly behind it, and it kind of threw the beat off for me. That, along with, like I said, it was kind of busy, but once again, I liked it. I really did like it. Just something to keep in mind as we move forward, as you continue to continue to make tracks for the future. But once again, Gold is doing his thing, so shout out to him. All right, moving back to the UK, my man, your man, Crooked Mystery Jazz. Let's go. CMJ, Crooked Mystery Jazz. Boy. So it was said last year. Now, let me give credit where credit is due, or whatever. Let me admit something, that the whole King of the Podcast thing, I kind of just said that at the spur of the moment because I was really hyped coming off of a Stephen G track. This was, I don't know, like in the middle of last year, I think, or maybe like the third quarter. Either way. And once I said that and actually continued to say it, certain cats in the community was like, oh, okay, King of the Podcast, huh? One was Necromantis. The other was Crooked Mystery Jazz. And when I announced that we were getting ready to bring the podcast back and the assignment back for the year, CMJ, his thing was, I want the crown. And man, if that's not a valiant effort, I don't know what is. That track was insane. And pardon me if I get this wrong, I believe that's the UK garage or garage genre that he did with that. That is sickening. Oh boy. Thumbs up all the way around, dude. Very, very nice job. And finally, a gentleman, this is funny how this works because everybody is in the podcast tonight. He came in after Nelson Manziella. He came in slightly before Gold 007. He is an established YouTube artist, I guess you could say. He runs his own website where he slangs beats. And he is just a ridiculous musician all the way around, in my opinion. It's an honor to have this dude with us. My man, Taurus Beats. Let's get it in. Man. Taurus beats. As my girl B.A. Mac would say, and shout out to her, we need to get on her and get her in the podcast, like ASAP. But as B.A. Mac would say, Taurus beast. What else needs to be said about that beat except for, where the hell is the album? I need an album consisting of anywhere between 10 and say maybe 20, but around average length, say 12 to 16 songs of just Taurus just beasting out. Where the hell is that album? And why is this dude not touring, like doing like jazz clubs and stuff like that, like with a band? Because his sound definitely sounds like it's a band backing him up with like real live, just nasty drums and a nice keyboardist and guitarist and all that kind of stuff. Where is that? Where is that tour? Matter of fact, I'm going to get him on the phone. We're going to do this right away. Anyhow, yo, that was incredible. I really, really, really enjoyed this week. And I'm glad to be back with you, doing this for you, with you every week. Shout out to Taurus. Shout out to Crooked Mystery Jazz, Gold 007, Mr. Legacy, Stephen G, 18th Dynasty, Ray D 3000, Third Degree, Elliot, Willie Chill, and Nelson Manziella. And of course, you for being a part of what we do every week. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for sharing the videos and all of that. And if you're watching this particular video, that means you're on our new Computer Music Academy YouTube channel, or you're watching it from the website. So thank you for that as well. If you like what we do, you feel like you want to be a part of us or a part of it, come on over to computermusicacademy.com and join us. It's that simple. I'm done. Thank you again, and we will talk to you next time. See ya.